And welcome back to Coach's Corner West here at Bucyrus High School. We are going to have the next segment with the Bucyrus bowling teams. And before we get started, though, we want to acknowledge our sponsors because they do keep us on the air. Adam Weisner and Associates at Advanced Fiber Technology, Coach Tim Plumley at Mohegan Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, and not Coach Matt Studer, but just Matt Studer. He's, by the way, a Bucyrus grad. I didn't know that, but he is. Matt Studer at Spitzer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Kia in Mansfield. And we have with us Coach Diane Kaple and a couple of the Bucyrus bowlers from both boys and girls teams. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you coming out tonight. I know you were saying off camera that you actually have a JV match going on right now.
Yes.
And so you're going to be going out there a little bit after we get done taping the show here. I guess, first of all, it's been a big year for you so far.
It has.
Bowling is just exploding.
It really, yeah.
All over.
It is. It's straight all across the state. It's neat to see how much it has grown over the years.
Yeah, and certainly we're not taking a back seat here at all.
No, the teams are doing well.
Yeah, your teams are not just number of bowlers, but they're doing well.
Yeah, the growth, it's always, as we're on the downside now. We've only got another match left. We have 2 matches left. I take that back because one of them's a makeup. But, and then it's on to the league championship and then sectionals. So we're on the season, it's good to see the growth that the kids have done throughout the season, so.
I'm going to say you just had the county tournament,
Yes.
which is just kind of nice little, sort of like the county track meet. It's just kind of a nice little competition in the county.
Right, it's a 40, I tried to figure out how old the tournament is, and I can date it back to 1975. I don't know if it goes farther back there, and then when Suburban was closed for a couple of years, there was a 2-year hiatus with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's roughly about a 46-year-old tournament, and it's just a fun time.
Probably one of the best kept secrets too.
It is.
Nobody really knew about it until just recently.
Yeah.
Because it was always a club sport before.
Right, and all the clubs, would pick their it's the top 6 bowlers by average, and for 40-some years we've been gathering, and we have a roving trophy that get their names engraved on it and pass it back and forth.
Yeah.
So it's changed a little over the years, but
And not all the schools still are varsity. Buckeye Central, Crawford.
right, they're still clubs.
club.
Crawford, though, is competing as a varsity sport, doing it as a club. They can. That is one of the options that you can do. So they're in the Noble League, competing as a club, and they're competing against all the other teams, and they would have the option to go to sectionals if they'd like.
Okay.
We took our teams. We started that a couple years before we became the varsity sport as well.
Okay, yeah. And I know you've sent some people to the tournament even prior to being a varsity sport.
Yes, Todd Spurlock made it to state 2 years in a row, and we were club then.
Yeah. That probably kind of was an impetus for
It was an eye-opener
yeah.
to see what was out there available to the kids on
Yeah.
that next level. So.
Yeah, sure. And it's nice to have a bowling house like Suburban in town. You don't have to travel to go somewhere to bowl.
And Sean and Tasha do an amazing job. Ridgeways, they do a really great job for the kids and are, very accommodating and really love to see the kids out there.
Yeah. Now, so coming up, you said you have a league meet.
We have Thursday, we play Crawford. And then Tuesday, the 7th, it's a makeup date with we travel to North Baltimore,
Okay.
and that is the last of our matches.
Okay.
And then that following Saturday on the 11th is the Noble, the NOBL championship tournament, and then the following week after that is sections.
Okay, all right.
So
it kind of almost mirrors like basketball in that,
Right.
as far as the timing of the tournament. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Well, we're going to talk to a couple of your bowlers here.
All righty.
And then we'll get some final comments from you. We want to remind you that we're brought to you in part by Rob Lust at Edgefield Animal Clinic in Marion, Matt Ramsey, John Ziegler, Drew Young, Frank Heinlein and Associates at Bucyrus Blades, and Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Safe. These are the guys that keep us on the air.
And we appreciate
that's
that.
yes, we do. We very much do. Okay, so I've got, first of all, we've got Chloe Thompson and Riley Powers. Did I have that in right order?
Yep.
Did I get them in the right order? Okay. Well, first, Chloe, we'll talk to you. What grade are you in?
11th.
Okay,
So
so you're a
junior.
junior, okay. And how long have you been bowling?
Oh, this is my 2nd year.
Okay, all right. Have you seen the improvement in your own game?
Yeah,
First of all?
yeah.
And then how does that, how does bowling on your own versus bowling in competition, how does that
I feel like-
affect you?
When I'm on my own, it's just like kind of more for fun. And then it's for practice too. It's kind of like
Sure.
a mixture of
Mhm.
both. Just to work on things I know need worked on, but also just to have fun bowling.
Sure. Now, do you play other sports as well besides bowling?
Yeah. And marching band and then softball.
Oh, okay, all right. So, and we've always talked about this, I talk about, all the sports. In schools, especially smaller schools, mid to smaller schools, athletes have to play multiple sports. The school doesn't survive,
Yeah.
sports-wise, unless you have your athletes playing multiple sports. So, it's nice that, because you still got your schoolwork you gotta do, and
Some have jobs.
some have jobs,
Yep.
exactly, yeah. So to work around all that, that's a credit to you guys for doing that and keeping your grades up. Okay, we appreciate you coming out. We got some pizza in the library for you when we're done here. And Riley Powers, what grade of school are you in?
I'm a junior as well.
You're a junior also, okay. And how long have you been bowling?
This is my 3rd year.
Okay, so you're a little ahead of the curve as far as, not just since you've been in high school, you bowled even prior to that.
Yeah.
Okay, and how does that experience help you, when you're in these competitions?
It definitely helped a lot. Like bowling when I was younger, my dad was definitely a great influence. Being able to, start off young, get to improve as I get older.
Yeah, and for the folks that don't always understand it, do you like better bowling your regular games, or do you like the Baker games?
That's tough. Sometimes, the individual games, you can kind of get down on yourself. So in the Baker games, you really have your team to figure yourself out.
A little looser, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, for those maybe that are a little uninitiated, as I was,
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Baker games are, you just take turns bowling frames, correct?
Yes, you learn to play as a team. If the team gels, our girls' team this year really have just come together as a team. They play very well together. And they've so improved in their Baker games. In fact, this weekend, they set a new school record with the Baker game with a 211 at the county tournament.
Wow.
Their previous one was a 189. So the Baker games are to where every bowler bowls 2 frames. So if you bowl the first frame, you'll bowl the 6th frame. So you usually put your best one, or the person that can handle the pressure at the end, to bowl the 5th and the 10th frame.
Ah, okay.
So, and it's a fun, and it's a fun thing. It's a very fast pace. If you've never experienced a high school bowling match, there are a lot of people are really surprised at how fun the Bakers are, and the chants and the yelling and some of the things that.
It's different from the beer leagues that you go out on Wednesday night and see the guys bowling.
Yeah, yeah.
Scores may not be as high, but it's a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, the scores are pretty high.
Yeah, they get up there, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, good. Well, we appreciate you coming out tonight, Riley, and enjoy your pizza as well. Next, we have Seth Price. And Seth, what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore, okay, and how long have you been bowling?
I started my freshman year, but I've been bowling for fun since I was like 6 or 7.
Ah, okay, all right. So, you've had a lot of personal bowling experience, at least. Has that prepared you for bowling competitively?
It helped, but after a certain point, it didn't help very much because it didn't prepare me mentally for the pressure that I'd had to deal competing.
Yeah.
So that was my big problem last year. So I had high hopes, and then I started the season averaging 20 less than I expected to because I just couldn't handle the pressure.
So you have goals for yourself as
Yeah.
far as where you think that you are capable of being. Yeah, and it's a little tough when you're, I can remember back to the days I used to bowl in, junior leagues, and when, your dad was running it, and when the opponent starts stringing strikes and spares and you're not, it can get a little unnerving, so I really get that. So you play other sports as well?
I do track. I used to do cross country and marching band.
Okay, all right, good. Well, that, again, multiple things for the school, that's very helpful. All right, so we appreciate you coming out tonight, and enjoy your pizza as well. And then we have Tyson McDaniel. Tyson, you are
I'm a junior.
You're a junior also, okay. And, like, when you set up, like, do you have certain people that are, like you were talking about, you have your anchor bowler that's going to bowl in the fifth frame and all that. Does that rotate or week to week, or is that pretty well set in stone?
It depends on who's on that day. Like during county, we were all struggling during our individuals, but once we got into Baker's, I think I was really on, and it led us to the finals against Woodford. So I was the fifth man, which is the anchor man, and it got really close in the end.
2-pin difference.
Oh, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Wow. So, yeah, that kind of can get you ready for the league tournament.
Yeah,
And then, of course, sectionals, once you start those.
yes,
Even though the county tournament is just for bragging rights, basically, right?
yeah.
More or less. So do you play other sports as well?
I do. I'm in bowling, and I did baseball for the last 2 years, but I'm undecided if I want to do it this year. I might go to track this year and throw.
Oh, okay, all right. Shot put or disc or something,
Yeah.
Yes, not trying to rob people from the baseball team, but the track team, I'm sure, can always use, especially field events. Those are always difficult to fill for,
Yeah.
especially the smaller schools. So, but the fact that you're involved in other things is really good. So we appreciate you coming out tonight, and enjoy your pizza as well. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll have some final comments from Coach Kaple. We want to remind you that, first of all, that we're brought to you in part by Lee Plymel at the Plymel Insurance Group, Bucyrus and Gallion, Hannah Newton at Wendy's, Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky, and North Central State College Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center in Bucyrus. So, Coach, season's gone by quick, but I was just thinking on the way out here, this is already my 4th show here, and we love this setup and this facility. We were glad that Matt was able
This is nice.
to work with us on that. And it wasn't that we didn't like going to Pizza Hut, but especially on the Bucyrus side, and I think even Rod Steiger was aware of it. When they did the remodel, it really doesn't lend itself to us being there. It's smaller, for one thing, and it's kind of noisy. It
Yeah.
echoes a lot, and you have people coming in, and you hear the kitchen. It was all a distraction. Here, nice and quiet, we get very little interference. So,
Yeah.
so it's worked out pretty good for us. But, the fact that this is our 4th show, and I only have 6, so we're 2/3 of the way through our shows here, and we kind of do the last show, we let the spring sports come in. So we really only have one more show with winter sports, so.
It's hard to believe that
It's gone by so quickly, and you think, oh, we're in the doldrums of winter, December and January. Yeah, it went by pretty quick.
It did.
We're ready
It did.
We're ready to go to February here.
some of the kids aren't ready for the season to come to an end. Some are said they're ready, yes.
Yeah.
They actually have asked can we have a spring league? I'm like, oh, Coach needs a break.
Yeah, there you go. So, looking forward, where do you stand right now league-wise?
In the league, the girls are tied for first place.
Okay.
We're currently splitting first place with Liberty Benton.
Okay. Bigger school.
But yes, they were our only loss at their house. They came to our house last week and we beat them. So we're now currently tied for first. The boys are currently setting third. So girls are 9-1, and the boys are 7-3. So they've had a successful, I feel, has had a successful year.
Yeah.
They've done, the teams have done well, and they're, come next year, we have a mature group. We have one freshman in the boys, and sophomores are youngest, no? No, they're all juniors and seniors. So the girls, my next year, I got to do a lot of recruiting because my girls next year, I will have 13 seniors next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The junior class is huge. And a lot of them have been with me since the beginning, so.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and we're getting ready for sectionals. They're looking forward to sectionals.
Where are they going to be at this year?
They're at Fostoria.
Okay.
And that is also where the NOBL tournament is at, the
Okay.
championship tournament. That's on the 11th.
That's kind of in the center of the league, isn't it, as far
It
as
is, yeah.
geographics?
Yeah. So we'll be heading there on the 11th, and then the girls' sectionals boys are Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys are Thursday the 16th, girls are Friday the 17th, 10 a.m. in the morning. And so it's 2 days, and hopefully they have a good chance. If everyone, is on, both teams have a good chance of going on to district, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And you talked about the NOBL, Northern Ohio Bowling League, correct?
Yes,
That's
yes.
what the acronym is for. And we talked about Fostoria, Liberty Benton, North Baltimore.
North Baltimore, yep.
It's a pretty eclectic league.
It is, and we've really enjoyed bowling with this group. They've all been with Crawford, Wimford, North Baltimore, who's
Seneca East.
Seneca East, Fostoria. I think that's it. Is that 7 with us?
Yeah.
Wimford, yeah. So that makes 7, and so it's and all of us then go on to sectionals at Fostoria.
Okay.
There's only a few that we have not bowled with. There's Kenton and New Regal. What's another one?
Lakota.
Oh, yeah, Lakota.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how we do there.
So you get some different opponents.
Yeah, yep, we have a
Face
few
the
that
other-
we have not seen.
The others in the league. yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
so
It's
so
always
we are
good.
looking forward
That's what
to it.
tournament's about, right?
Yep.
You don't want to have to play the same teams all the time.
Yeah.
Play somebody different.
Yeah, that's the fun thing
Yeah.
about, when we were a club, it was just the same teams bowling against each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And having this experience is a lot of fun.
Okay. Well,
So.
continued success in the season. I know it's starting to wind down, but still a lot to be bowled
Lot,
for.
yep.
Yes.
We have a lot left to do
Okay.
to
Well,
meet our goals.
Well, good luck on your wrapping up the season, and we appreciate you coming out tonight.
Well, thank you for having
Want to
us.
get you out to your Baker games out at the JV match.
Yeah.
Coach Diane Kaple and the Bucyrus bowling team. Next up, we will have Bucyrus boys basketball.